So essentially, what is the central bank trying to do here?
Okay, so one of the things that has become very sensitive within the Zimbabwean economy has been the exchange rate. So around the 17th of September to 20th, thereabout, we saw that the parallel market rate actually shot up quite significantly. So it was around 15 and then it went to 20 and then it went up to around 27. And there were indications that, in certain sectors, it had hit 30. So the impact there is quite significant, especially looking at the inflationary pressures that happen in the economy. So as a result, there was an indication that there were companies that were involved in terms of pushing up the parallel market rates, which means that, they're actually buying forex on the parallel market. And some companies that are linked to the agricultural funding program, really, that the National Treasury supports, we actually investigated, and there were indications that probably they were involved in the trading of forex on the parallel market. So as a result, the financial intelligence unit then came up and said that there's need to take up and to do investigations in some of these companies. As a result, their accounts were frozen.
Okay, first question I have for you is how much is this economic and how much is this political? Because unfortunately, because of the inflamed political climate that you operate in business, often that's the first question that occurs to people.
I'll say it's a combination of both, because when you're looking at agriculture, it's a very critical area, especially when you're looking at food security. Even politicians also use things such as food really to campaign. And if you then look at something like command agriculture, yes, there's a need to boost agriculture to improve farmers on the ground, but also it gives you some form of political mileage if you then are found to be supporting food production. So it's really the command agricultural issue has been quite sensitive with some economic players coming out to say that it's not really an efficient way of allocating resources, given that we've seen a lot of corruption cases around command agriculture. But the government really continues putting out money through this program. So as a result, we find that there are some certain entities that are linked to command agriculture. And by the end of the day, these are the companies that actually have the money that can actually be directed to parallel markets.
And the sad part about this is that even these concerns around money laundering, whatever, it's all symptoms of an economy that doesn't really work and doesn't function the way it should. I mean, how far away is the economy from ever getting back on track?
No, it's a challenge, but what we've seen is that Zimbabwe has been looking at ways of attracting credit lines, and also even the banking sector has been looking for corresponding banking relationships. So really, the move by the Security Exchange Commissions to then come up with an anti-money laundering handbook is actually in line with the international best practices, and just to position the country if there are any open lines of credit. But however, just looking at the trajectory in the economy, we're forecasting negative GDP growth of about 5% this year, and capacity utilization is estimated at 30%. So really, in terms of a turnaround, we don't expect it anytime soon. Really, there's still a lot of work to be done in that front.
And also, the reports we're getting here in Johannesburg is that the Zimbabwe economy has also been plagued by water shortages, as well as if you didn't have enough to deal with at the moment. What's behind that?
Okay, so as indicated, the concerns or the problem has been around foreign currency, really. Because by the end of the day, what you want is to import chemicals for treatment of water. So you find that a lot of these local authorities, for example, municipality and even the Harare City Council, they don't have enough foreign currency to then import the required chemicals to treat or purify water. So as a result, there is a shortage of water across the key suburbs in Zimbabwe, and the only alternative that we're seeing some households are looking at would be just drilling bores and things like that. So really, it's a foreign currency shortage that is really affecting the country, because if you're looking at the economy generally, it's import dependent. We are not producing much, which means that we actually depend on imports for a lot of things, your chemicals, even things such as fuel and the like. So really, there's a lot of pressure.
Well, it seems you have some very dry and difficult days ahead in Zimbabwe. That was Batanai Matsika, the head of research at Morgan & Co., coming to us live from Harare.